Alright, this game will be the last replay we look at for this particular video. So here we're watching our boy, the boy, Arteezy on the anti-mage. He's playing a cover the entire face build with cosmetics and got the golden hammers. I mean, I'm a big fan.
30 seconds.
First thing you want to do every game, make a habit, is analyze the enemy heroes, right? So this is Arteezy popping it open, right? Not even me. Perfect. Okay, so because I'm on player perspective. So start with the easy ones. This is a little more tricky than the previous drafts we were looking at, and not just because I covered this up so you guys can't cheat, right? There's, could be run a couple different ways. So start with the easy ones. Lion, safe lane support, always. Razor, mid, not always, but usually, excuse me. Go with what the most common thing is, right? No need to overcomplicate things. It's gonna be the mid most of the time. So that leaves what's the safe lane carry is one of these two. And you could try either one. So if this is the carry, then that means this is either support or dual offlane. If this is the carry, if Naga's the carry, then that means, again, it could be a dual offlane or Elder Titan support with a solo faceless, or maybe like a faceless jungle, something odd like that. In this particular game, the right answer is that he was the carry, he was the offlaner, and he's this like flex, sort of roaming, sort of whatever. Arteezy had a couple more bits of information. One, that he actually saw purple, as sir you noticed earlier, and same thing, he also saw him walk by with some wards in the mid lane. And then also in a pro game, you have the bonus of you can just recognize the hero name or the player names and be like, oh, that person plays carry. Alright, so first thing you do is items. Well, after this, you'll notice Arteezy went a little bit less defensive than previous games that we talked about. He's got gold left over, right? He didn't go 8 tangos and 2 sealing salves. This is probably the most common, I would say, is 2 sets of regen, stout shield, and then you can either start with one of these, you can get an ironwood branch for, double tango shenanigans or whatever. Just do whatever else with the last bit of gold. Maybe save up for quelling blade. When you get 3 sets of regen, that's probably a little bit more defensive. So the next thing he does is he goes and kind of postures near the rune. By convention, both teams will have their mid laner take the rune. That's because the mid laner, was deemed at some point that the 100 extra gold on a mid laner is more impactful in the game than 100 bonus gold on any other player. So even in pubs, like, generally the mid laner will get it. And now that that's been like a tradition, when the runes first came out, it was just a shit show. It was anyone went anywhere to try to contest them, and anyone would take them, right? But then it was kind of determined that the mid laners generally use them better to get a faster bottle. And then after that, it was determined that you usually go to the side closer to your safe lane. And that is because, just out of the chaos that is pub games in Dota, it was noticed the mid laner could go either way, obviously. The off laner generally goes to the off lane, but generally the safe lane and the safe lane supports would be on this side. So if you would have, and it's not because of the geography of the map. You notice that the Dire, for example, the Radiant doesn't usually get the top rune, even though the Radiant does technically have a geographical advantage with this double high ground compared to the Dire's single high ground. This double high ground is worthless. You can't see. Anyways, that's how that arose, and that's kind of the tradition that we follow. So because of that, we do it. If you try to attempt getting the other rune, it won't work out for you generally. Okay. So he postures over there just in case they try to do anything crazy. We see him running, so he can reasonably assume that he's not going to actually make an attempt. Next thing, goes straight to the block. While I mentioned that blocking the creeps not as important in the mid lane as it used to be, actually very important in the side lanes. Everyone tries to do it. You notice Arteezy's going for the block only on melee creeps, trying to let the range creep die. That's because if the range creep dies, the enemy wave will push. Whereas he's going for a block on every creep. This method is superior. If the range creep goes by and it dies, even if Faith Beyond is successful, which it doesn't really seem like, it seemed like they about canceled out, right? So even if Faith Beyond blocked much better and they met here, Faith Beyond's creeps would end up slaying Arteezy's range creep, and then the Radiant's creeps would push. You want, in the side lanes, you want to be as close to your tower as possible. That simultaneously makes it more safe for you and less safe for them. So whether you're winning or losing the lane, it's a good thing. Arteezy skills up his mana break. We talked about that last game, last time we saw an anti-mage. You just hold on to the mana break or to the point until you realize, oh, I'm winning this lane. Like, it's a 2v1. So this means there's gonna be no need to run. So instantly goes into the mana break. Just gets a bunch of extra damage. If you're gonna get free hits on the enemy, you might as well make the free hits count for more. So he gets a couple of attacks. Notice his range creep's already dead. Goes for the last hit. Okay. Now, at this point, they're gonna simultaneously try to bully him out. His ogre's actually gonna do a pretty good job of doing that for him, and then he's gonna try to get the creeps pushed up to here. See, right now it's at this spot where he can kind of safely stay in XP range, but given a couple more levels to where he has Blink, and then he has both nukes, he went Bloodlust level 1. Given a couple more levels, it's going to be very unsafe for this Elder Titan to push up. Okay, so the simple way of making it so that the enemy creeps push is just to attack your creeps whenever possible, which is to say whenever they're below half health. If you just always do that, then it'll be pretty simple. You know, it's easier to err on the side of making your wave too weak, because you can always undo that. You can always just, if your wave's too weak by a long shot, and the creep wave's pushing here, and they've got 4 creeps and you've got 1, then suddenly you can just stand here and tank and attack their creeps. You'll tank a little bit of damage, right? So you'll have to burn some regen just tanking creeps, but that's okay because generally you do this in lanes that you've already won. You know, so you might not need this regen. It might not be as important. We're about to see that illustrated. So Arteezy's been attacking his own creeps a lot. Gonna go for some harass on this Elder Titan. Actually gonna go for a kill here. He's not gonna get the kill. He's gonna get him really low, and he's gotta back off. That is such an important concept. He backed off, right? And most people get that. This is a natural move. Oh, you back off. You didn't get the kill. He's in the tower range. He's safe. Technically, maybe he could have got the kill. Who knows? He has a 36 move speed advantage, right? 360 to 396. He maybe could have run him down, but people who get that intuitively, they just, oh, don't chase it down. They will, at the same time, be the same people that in the mid lane just go for crazy dives on the enemy mid laner once it seems kind of low. I don't know, maybe because of the hero they play is ranged or something. It's the same concept of free damage. You saw him getting all this free damage. The instant you go into the tower, the damage is no longer free. It's actually very expensive. You might get the kill, but it would be at great expense. It would probably be all of his health. Maybe he would live barely with the blink out. Maybe he would die. Either one's not great. This is a free, force the opponent to heal sort of thing. Okay. And that's how lanes are won. Free damage, right? You'll see that he went the Quelling Blade, the Quelling Blade, he didn't go the Quelling Blade, he went Boots of Speed first. This is a different stylistic thing, but the Boots of Speed allowed him to get a lot more damage on the Elder Titan and actually nearly get a kill. I see this occasionally from very high level safe lane carries. I personally pretty much just get the Quelling Blade like immediately, just irregardless, but these people who can last hit pretty well without the Quelling Blade, I mean, I just don't have that great confidence in my own last hitting. I'm good, but like also I just rather get the Quelling Blade because I'm gonna get it eventually. But you'll notice he's actually doing pretty decently in last hitting, and the theory is if you can last hit just fine without Quelling Blade, then maybe you could get the faster boots, maybe you could pick up an extra kill. Obviously everyone's gonna get the Quelling Blade eventually because for killing neutrals, for example, Quelling Blade, it's more than just last hitting at that point. You're actually increasing the exact speed. You're increasing the speed that you're actually killing neutrals, so you're gonna get more gold. In a lane, though, it's not about speed, it's about if you get the last hit. So if he thinks he can get the last hit anyways. Okay, right here we see Faith, the offlaner using his spells just because otherwise he's going to get all his mana burned. Arteezy's going to go back to last hitting and stuff. Alright, so Crit comes back as the Ogre, shows on lane a little bit. Suddenly Faith Beyond, no mana. Feels like unsafe in the lane. So we're going to see him walk around, just do other Faith Beyond things. And in the meanwhile, this is going to just leave Anti-Mage to his own devices. And you're just going to see him basically just maintaining equilibrium. And it's like really easy if you just attack your creeps, like I said, every time they get below half health. Right? You don't actually have to get the deny. The deny, all it does is it cuts the bounty of XP if there's an enemy hero nearby. If there's no enemy heroes nearby, denying or not denying actually has no effect on gameplay besides boosting your stats, which, granted, is important. But, you know, we're going to see him hitting his own creeps because he just wants to hold the lane as close to his tower as possible. Once you're, like, comfortable with your lane, like, there's no enemy laner, you're able to be a little bit more loose with your regen. So, like, he's going to kill these creeps, and then worst case scenario is you kill your own wave so well that it starts pushing in your tower and you have to tank a little bit. That's okay though if there's no enemy heroes to harass you. So we have the Elder Titan comes back. They immediately decide to go for a kill attempt. Rare misplay by Crit. Using the stun before the stomp actually allows him to get away. But whatever. Arteezy's just back on the lane. Goes back to maintaining the equilibrium as quick as he can. Kills off all of his own creeps as quick as he can so that it doesn't... The worst case scenario, right, is if you accidentally or on purpose start pushing the lane and then suddenly the lane's like here and the opponent is just farming under their tower. You know, that's the worst case scenario because it's you're splitting XP with your support who's invariably going to stand there unable to set up a kill but also just doing nothing besides leeching XP. And the opponent offlaner is gonna give you trouble, basically. Like, if he's doing this, he's actually cutting this guy's XP by a lot, and the only thing you can do is go to other lanes or jungle. And if you can't jungle, like, this hero's not great at jungling, plus he didn't go Iron Talon, what that means is for a while there's just gonna be an underleveled Elder Titan walking around on a map. That could be something where it kind of leads into eventually like becoming more food, you know? That's almost like stacking a neutral camp or something if you make an opponent really underleveled, you know? Maybe they even get tilted and feed some, right? So this is like an investment in its own way. Going into Bracer, not too much to talk about there. Nothing, or sorry, not Bracer, Power Treads, because they pretty much just do that. If you go Battle Fury beforehand, you don't even get that fast. If you go Battle Fury before Power Treads, you don't even get that great of neutral farming speed because your attack speed's so low. This gives you so much more lethal power too. So we see this Naga pulling the creeps. If this happens, just do your best to last hit as well as you can. This is like an example of the lane not going according to your plan, right? So just whenever this happens, you just get last hits as you can and then restore the lane to how you would like it to be. Alright, so the offlaner's kind of just hiding. I'm going to watch a little bit of this. We're going to watch it on ×2. Basically, this is just to show you he's not doing anything special or tricky. He's just hitting his own creeps. This is just what you do. If you have a lane that's set up how you want it, keep it like this, you know? Too many times people decide, oh, everything's perfect. I need it to be better than perfect. I need to somehow get even more out of the lane. You know, when you don't have Battle Fury, when there's nothing special you can do, just hold the lane like this, get the items you need. He's not pushing because he hasn't seen this guy. You know, it's good to take a tower if you can, but if you push the lane and this guy's just hiding somewhere and soaking all the XP, that doesn't help any. So you can see he bought an infused rain drop from the courier. I'm sure he can do that in his games, and that's reasonable because I'm sure he asked his ally permission, like, let me use the courier. Don't do that in your games, like I said earlier. That could really this courier came for nothing besides the infused rain drop. That could really hurt your mid laner if he's not ready for it and he's using it. Granted, it's getting kind of later, so maybe it's alright. Okay, so this is a good technique to know, right? Whenever the lane starts to be emptied up, we're going to see Arteezy do a couple different things that really help the lane, help you get the most out of an empty lane, like an uncontested lane, okay? So, this is in my opinion, the most important technique. Whenever you start to feel like the lane's empty, which he did, you see he went from attacking his own creeps every time possible, right? He's going to pull it under tower a little bit, and then next wave, he sees the purple's been gone for a while, so he starts pushing. So he's actually attacking more often, right? And he's attacking enemy creeps instead of his own. So he pushes a little bit. And then 52, very important mark. This one, you want to get the stack and the pull. That's what makes this killer. So you go up, pull this. This is going to pull the creep, obviously. You just go straight to your wave. And then it will also stack. So you're going to get 2 enemy camps plus deny your whole wave. So then you have to run back to the wave. This only really works if the enemy's not in a lane, right? Because if you run up to the lane like this and you have no creep support, because, you know, yours is generally dying to this, you know, you're going to be in trouble. So he does that, blinks over, gets as much of this as he can. The opposing team sees that and runs up to try to contest him a little bit, but he's able to get most of it. This is the sort of thing you can just rinse and repeat every minute if the opponents let you, okay? Alright. His ally comes and ganks, and Arteezy gets a second or double kill. Actually, not a lot to learn here besides the fact that you should just kill your enemies if they give you free kills, but it's always like unsatisfying if I just skip past this and you see he has 2-0 and you don't know how. But anyways, so that was a good gank by Zai. RTZ just right click, good for him. He feels pretty safe because he's got the blink maxed out. It's low cooldown. He has plenty of health on reserve. He's just been holding a creep aggro here. So that's another reason, right? It means that if the enemies rotate up and try to soak XP, it's just super easy for you to gank them. You know, they have to have a ward down. If they don't, which he's checking for, they don't have a ward, you can just gank them. You know, look at this coverage here. They'd have to have a ward right here. Granted, in a pub, this is like a commonplace, but maybe like they're so next level meta that, you know. The other thing is too, RTZ knows that the enemy hasn't been here in a while. You know. All right, so when you're winning the lane and when a lane is basically empty, like free of opposition, obviously you want to be hitting perfect CS. Like, I think that goes without saying. But there's two main things you can be doing to increase your income above, like perfect, above hitting every CS. And the one we've already covered, doing the pull at 52-53, you know, pulling this up that gives you, you know, you'll get perfect CS, then you go here and you get 2 extra camps. We see RTZ actually going and warding deep. That's not like a common thing you'll be doing in a pub. That's just what he did when he would normally be doing these pulls. So that's one, and the other one is obviously taking a tower. Both of these two things tax your hero a little bit. You know, you have to be able to be strong enough to tank the full wave and kill it while your wave is killing the neutral camps. So you have to be strong enough to do that. If the enemy hero's there, you probably won't be because they'll be able to hit you with a full wave, you know. But if the enemy hero's gone, then you can do that. And then you have to also be strong enough to deal damage because your wave's going to lose to the double stack of the double hard camp. So you have to be strong enough to do damage to the neutral camp too, right? So that's like taxing your hero a bit more. That's something you do whenever you've been winning a lane by enough. And then the next thing, the next level above that would be taking the tower. Taking the tower is worth more, right? But because it also gives you a huge amount of gold and gold to your team, importantly, and not to mention all the strategic benefit. You don't get any strategic benefit from clearing an extra neutral camp. But the tower's also more dangerous. You know, that's just asking to be ganked whenever you're attacking their stuff. So the tower you will do not only whenever you see the enemy is not in your lane, but also you basically want to see all of the enemies fighting. You want to see them on the map. You want to see them teleporting away. That's when you decide to go for it. Okay, a couple minutes later, RTZ hasn't even left the lane yet. And that's okay as a safe laner. Your goal is to get, as a safe laner, what you're expected to do is just get as many creep kills as you possibly can without dying, basically. And you want to just amass a huge advantage in that you are just steadily getting as many creeps kills as you possibly can, and the enemy team and your allies are both kind of fighting in another lane, but it's just allowing you to get out of control. So we see this guy teleported away, so we pretty much know the lane's open, so we're going to go for the push, right? Maybe if it was the 52 mark, you know, if it was closer to the next minute, he might have considered doing this, but getting the tower is the bigger objective than getting a double stamp. A double stack of this. It's just the tower's obviously harder. So we'll see this technique RTZ uses is basically just putting the most amount of damage on a tower as you can, right? So you don't want to tank the tower. So we're going to see him do this properly. I'm going to focus on him, and we're going to watch in slow motion. Basically, you got to understand the rules of tower aggro. Tower prioritizes, okay, first, if you are attacking an enemy hero. No one is, that's not an issue here. That everyone knows that one. Second, if you are attacking the tower, it will prioritize people who are attacking the tower second. Third, it will prioritize people that are just fighting in general nearby it. And then fourth, if everything else is a tie or if there needs to be a tiebreaker, it prioritizes things that are closer over things that are farther away. Okay? So what that means specifically... Oh, and another thing is, once it starts on a target, it'll just continue killing the target unless you break the first rule, unless you actually target an enemy hero. If you right-click an enemy hero and you are underneath the tower, doesn't matter where the enemy hero is, the tower will switch to you. Barring that, it won't switch targets, right? So we're going to watch RTZ, and with this creep wave alive, he's going to attack the tower, and he knows that the rule is the tower's going to choose things that are attacking it first. So we're going to watch this in slow. Basically, he just walks. He stops attacking the instant other creep gets low. So we're watching this slowly. Alright, he's looking bottom.
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
Okay, I didn't actually do it there.
Radiant's top tower is taking hits.
There, you saw it there. Alright, Yeah, so you could see him there do it there 2 times. The one thing I will mention is why I didn't attack him that first time, and this is like a little deal, but maybe he was. I don't know if it was he could have just been looking at the battle, and that's why he didn't do the little walking trick. But the reason it didn't target him is that melee heroes actually have more range than creeps. He's got 150 range. I don't know if it'll show it on a creep. Yeah, the creeps have 100. You see, it's just a little bit farther, so it's gonna prioritize. Everything's attacking the tower, so it's gonna prioritize him. Or sorry, the creeps over him, versus an important difference is while the creeps are fighting, like when the enemy creeps come, the creeps are all fighting here, and maybe the range creep will still aggro on a tower, but all the melee creeps are going to stop attacking a tower. That's going to mean he's the highest priority target. So if he keeps attacking the tower and all the melee creeps aren't attacking the tower, he'll be the highest priority target. But if the melee creeps are all fighting, he's not fighting, he's walking in that exact moment, and the range creep's attacking him, he will not be the highest priority target. It'll be either range creep, which is attacking directly the tower, but farther away, or the melee creeps, which are attacking creeps, but closer. So let's just watch this one more time in slow motion. So that was the one he didn't drop aggro, but he didn't need to.
Bottom tower.
We're going to watch this. I'm going to slow it down again. So it's going to have one more
tower.
attack. You see RTZ stop, walk, and then that's all it takes. Just for that, that was like all it takes. It's just that tiny amount of time while the tower's choosing his target. He did it again. Do you see there? He got 1 extra attack by doing it there. Like, he moved, and then a tower hit this creep, and then he hit one more time. Alright, so what's that mean is a hero that's not even known for sieging is able to get half the tower's health out in one wave, This is all just in a short amount of time. Will be just in that moment where the enemy hero showed on the lane. So he's gonna do it again, right? Just get the most amount of tower damage you can, and they put the fortify on. Just ditch. 2 main reasons: A, you can't do damage, right? So you're wasting your time. B, if they're fortifying, that means someone's looking at the tower. That's a little more subtle, but it generally means people are thinking about you. Sometimes I just notice if people fortify, a lot of times that means I'm about to get ganked. He's not about to get ganked here. The big reason here is he's got this secondary objective. We talked about which one's better to do the stack pull or to go to tower pushing. Well, tower's made invulnerable, so get the stack pull. You pull it. He actually suddenly is fearing this gank. Probably some of the same things I was talking about. You'll notice he used his scan. He put the scan here. He sees enemy heroes. What he doesn't know, we have the luxury of seeing that these guys are not about to gank him, but he doesn't. There's a bunch of heroes missing. He just knows that there are enemy heroes here. You see him ping a little bit. He's like, all right, I'm out. Seems like a good time to just go bottom and take that tower instead. So, we see RTZ teleporting bottom lane because he kind of feared that top might have been a gank. He's gonna take this tower. He's gonna take the tower with his allies. Bunch of heroes versus Winx is gonna ditch. So this is gonna be like basically a free tower. The truth is, if he had stayed top lane and farmed, he would have gotten this double camp. He would have God, well, let's pause. I won't let you use minimap. All right, he would have gotten this double camp. He would have gotten all the CS. But it was risky. He didn't realize, he thought he was being ganked. And that's how Dota is. If you see this happen, you have the opportunity to make a guaranteed good play, small good play, which is to take a tower with your team. And I call that small because, as it turned out, he didn't need to be there to take the tower. His team, but that sort of stuff's hard to predict. So this is a guaranteed good play. If he goes bottom with his team, he's gonna get that tower. Versus, it feels risky to him staying top. And that's just the way Dota is. You need to be making good plays consistently. You need to always be moving in the right direction. If you had went for what he judged to be slightly more risky, and it was, we get the 2020 no fog vision, we get the 2020 hindsight vision, but he didn't know all that, so it was risky to stay top. If he does that and dies, then he's suddenly going in the negative direction. He's losing gold, he's losing time. The opponents gain gold from killing him, getting a lot of XP. So you always want to just be doing good plays whenever you can. That's why RTZ came bottom. That being said, this is starting to impinge on Chapter 5 material, so, mid-game decision-making. He's ditched the lane. Laning stage is over. So, in the meanwhile, see you guys next video for the offlane.